How is it that successful developers and publishers from around the industry can see the follies in certain places, but the guys that are working on the projects, guys and gals and theys and thems working on the projects, can't see the forest through the trees? Because you got the Baldur's Gate 3 publisher warning of industry division as Naughty Dog's new game trailer faces backlash. Yeah, we're talking about Intergalactic, the Heretic prophet once again, mostly because this is going to be Naughty Dog, oh boy, at their most Naughty Dog, Neil Druckmann at his most Neil Cuckman, and it's not going to be good, okay, because we got something that's on the horizon here. I haven't seen it personally, but there's a lot of illusions from what I hear from people in the know that the Last of Us 2 Season 2 trailer is dropped, and oh boy, it is definitely going full Last of Us Part 2, and that's not good, okay, for as many accolades as Season 1 got for its, I don't know, mediocre story and its banal performances. People generally liked it. It was just always going to be a big if, because when it came to the story of The Last of Us Part 1, people generally liked it. Hell, I generally liked it. My problem with the game is more or less the gameplay as opposed to the story. It was quite good the first time around, but it's also a game that I haven't gone back to since I first played it in 2013. Don't really intend to either, or to pick up Part 2. I think that it looks like ass. I've watched enough gameplay on it. I know the story back to front, hearing reviews and breakdowns of it time and time again. I'm good, man, okay? I seen what Neil Druckmann brought to the Uncharted franchise, and it's like, yeah, I don't need to experience your story writing prowess corrupting my bones any more than it already has, thanks. I've seen your insights to making Nathan Drake's Nathan Drake's child a daughter when it was supposed to be a son for the simple reason of, it needs to be a daughter. Fucking dork. But when Intergalactic ultimately drops, I'm thinking 26, maybe 27, because we know the game has been in development since 2020, which is wild to think about, and it just got announced at the tail end, hell, at the Game Awards. But it didn't have a release date, a release window, or anything like that. It was just a very advertisement-heavy announcement trailer with, well, there's your main character, Jordan, who looks very enticing. And yeah, that's mostly been the ire that has been drawn by a bunch of people. But I think that the rot is going to run so much deeper than that, like it has been with several other games released in the past year or so, where, yeah, you might be able to dismiss it as simply being woke, but in reality, yeah, the game fails on every single level. When was the last time that Naughty Dog was actually at the cutting edge when it came to gameplay? It might be with the original, Uncharted, because as much as I love Uncharted 2, like everybody else properly should, it really wasn't that much of a step up in gameplay from the original Uncharted, which was quite good, and at the outset of the PS3, goofy motion control, six-axis crap aside, pretty bog standard. It functioned extremely well. It was very tight and refined gameplay, but that might have been the last time that they were innovative, because The Last of Us was just, waist-high third-person cover shooter crap, which wasn't that great. Like, the stealth was laughable. Oh, throw a rock and then you can sneak up on a clicker, and if you have enough shivs, you can just knife it that way. Ooh, very special. And then all of the accessibility options that make, The Last of Us Part 2 laughable. Like, oh my god, if you just put on easy mode where you just follow the colors, and then you have all of your interactable environments highlighted. It's like, okay, cool, what's the point of even sneaking around when you can just go ahead and plot everything out and you know exactly where everything's going in the sake of accessibility? Dumb. And you think Naughty Dog's going to improve on that? Yeah, I highly doubt it. Navigating the storm industry division and the backlash against Naughty Dog's Intergalactic, the Heretic prophet, recent controversies have highlighted a stark division within the gaming community, with the latest example being Naughty Dog's reveal trailer of the title ES Intergalactic, the Heretic prophet. The game introduced during the 2024 Game Awards has unexpectedly become a focal point of discussion about creativity, representation, and the direction of AAA gaming. Yeah, 2025 and beyond is going to be extremely tough time to ship a game with the division spilling into everything. I have one practical piece of advice that to many may seem to some. There we go. Okay, you wrote that wrong. I didn't read it wrong. I'm not stupid. It's crucial. Anticipate. Don't ignore or ridicule or stroke. Okay, figure it out. Navigate. Yeah, exactly. Know where things are going and stop trying to fight against your audience. Not something that Naughty Dog in recent years has been good at. Do you think the culture war BS regarding games and general crap has spilt into social media will eventually blow over? Says somebody with a Palestine flag in their bio. No, I think it's the increasing obsession, individualism has created a world where everyone is defending their corner. Yeah, and it's also, I didn't even notice that Intergalactic is also the profile picture of Boz. Yeah, Mum Slipper. Oh my god, very, very intellectual person we're dealing with right here. But when you have somebody as ideological as Neil Druckmann forcing their worldview on people, that's naturally going to create a divisive environment. We've seen the girl boss trope play out before. We've seen it play out at Naughty Dog. We know what to expect, and that's why everybody is laughing and ratioing every single announcement of this game. And while we haven't heard anything as a follow-up officially from Naughty Dog since that first trailer, the protagonist, the Jordan A. Munn, okay, portrayed by actress Tati Gabrielle, who, yeah, is a bit of a piece of work herself, has been at the center of the backlash. Critics have pointed to the character design, particularly her bald head is overly woke, drawing comparisons to Concord, which also faced similar criticism for its diverse character roster. No, it was mostly for pronouns and for just dogshit gameplay. Okay, the discourse around these elements have stirred a debate about representation versus fan expectations in video games. Yeah, how the representation push has never worked before, and how if your other studios, like say, oh, I don't know, CD Projekt Red promising the moon in the form of Cyberpunk 2077 and then delivering something that was such a disaster that it couldn't even work on base PS4 models. Like, there's a big AAA gaming problem, a huge one. But according to industry perspectives, you got Michael Dowse, the head of publishing for Larian Studios, known for Baldur's Gate 3, recently commented on the increasing difficulty of releasing games in the current climate. He warned that 2025 and beyond is going to be an extremely tough time to ship a game. Yeah, talking about that before. That's whose tweets we were reading before. The impact of the backlash. Yeah, the comparison to Concord isn't merely about character design, but also that touches on gameplay expectations. Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. Yeah, it's probably going to be a third-person action-adventure game because it's a first-person Sony title, and of course it is. And we know that Naughty Dog, that's like they've been lagging behind in gameplay for a long time. I don't even think that that's a controversial statement. Me thinking that a little bit of dialogue and the facial expressions we got from Jordan makes her already an unlikable protagonist. I don't care if she's bald. There's been Ellen Ripley in Aliens 3 before her, or was that... No, that was Resurrection. Sorry, my mistake. That was 4. Or you've rooted for bald females before. For Jada Pinkett Smith, who she bears a lot more of a resemblance to. Why is that? No, I don't know. You don't need to connect any more dots than that. Don't worry about it. It was just the first bald chick that came to mind. But hey, G.I. Jane, Demi Moore, G.I. Jane, that was fun, right? Sure. But no, just because diverse doesn't mean bad. But when you just add everything else on top of this, you got Naughty Dog, you've got Neil Druckmann driving this game. You know it's going to be a disaster. So yeah, all these games that are reaching the end of their development cycle, the ones that were gestated in 2020, 2021, in 2022, when all of this woke nonsense permeating the games industry, permeating society at its peak, locking everybody down, forcing them out of their jobs, keeping them out of polite society, all of those ideas were gestating at that time. And now we're starting to see the fruits from those trees. Yeah, we kind of know what we're expecting, especially in the case of Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. But what about something that's a little bit more immediate? What about Assassin's Creed Shadows? Because oh boy, that's just a few weeks away now at this point in time. Holy crap. But you've got Gears of War executive producer, now a franchise that I very much like. Now there's a lot of stuff that I've been talking about here that I'm very attached to, or at least was at one point in time. Like the Gears of War trilogy, fantastic stuff. Spent a lot of time with those. The Assassin's Creed franchise, I've talked about it ad nauseum. Big fan of it all the way up until a certain point, and it's been a minute since I've checked one out. Naughty Dog games, I love the Uncharted stuff. I loved my first playthrough and only playthrough of The Last of Us. I want gaming to be better than it is right now. Apparently the people working on these projects don't want these projects to succeed, don't want gaming to be good again. It takes people from the outside looking in to assess the problems. Their recommendations seemingly fall on deaf ears. So who are we talking about here? Okay. Gears of War executive producer baffled why Ubisoft chose to make Assassin's Creed Shadows with Yasuke as main protagonist. Yeah, something that we've been talking about for a long time. Laura Fryer, all right, the executive producer on Gears of War, revealed she was baffled why Ubisoft decided to make Assassin's Creed Shadows with Yasuke as the main protagonist. Now, here's the thing. There was a big reason why I loved Naughty Dog and the Uncharted games that they were putting out is because the person behind the story, Amy Hennig, she was really damn good at her job. Exceptionally good. And male feminist Neil Druckmann drove her out of Naughty Dog because he was such a good female ally. And the story architect behind a lot of those early Assassin's Creed games, oh yeah, it went by the name of Jade Raymond. Yeah, a chick as well. So as hard as I am on nefarious women worming their way into the industry by milking simps, and offering nothing in the way of actually making good games, and instead just simply wanting to be reaffirmed in their solipsistic nature. When good ones come around, yeah, they actually offer something quite unique to the industry. In a recent video upload titled "The Games Industry Elephant," Fryer discussed how video game companies decided to hire localizers and consultants in order to mitigate risks regarding geopolitical issues. Okay, she shared one example. And there was also that time when all of Microsoft distribution in Turkey were arrested because Encarta 95 had released with a map that included an area for Kurdistan. Okay, the one did get fixed. Of course, Microsoft was a good company and they didn't want people getting arrested, and they knew they couldn't expect developers to be well versed in geopolitical issues, so they started hiring. They hired a group of localizers and created an entire group to help the product teams to be sensitive to those issues. You couldn't have a game developer putting the Microsoft brand at risk. Yeah, see, now all of these studios, they all come in under, or rather these subdivisions always seem to come in under the best of reasons. Like that right there, totally logical reason why you'd have a good quality localizer to manage geopolitical issues. Okay, because you got somebody punching in, numbers and coding and making art assets. They don't know what's allowed in certain countries around the world. The hell if they know. Okay, bring in somebody whose expertise is in that. But now you're bringing in people that are hired in that division, okay, just because they have the requisite amount of time spent at college, but the degree that they got, is a human resources degree or a gender study degree. So they're coming in with more piercings and completed games under their belt, more time spent doodling on their skin than drawing fan art of their favorite franchise. From there, Fryer transitioned to Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows. After having those experiences, I'm baffled about some of the things I'm seeing today. Did any of the executives at Ubisoft question whether or not doing Assassin's Creed Shadows was a good idea? I've been to Japan many times. I've worked with Namco as a producer on Revenge of Arcade, and during Xbox I managed a team there. I love the people and the culture, and based on that experience, I would never have agreed to do this game, because even if you handled it as delicately as possible, it's easy to make a mistake, she continued. And I think they have. The game isn't even out yet, and it's already mired in controversy, and this isn't what you want for your game. Maybe it'll blow over and they'll be able to navigate this, but if not, that was a very expensive experiment. Yeah, exactly, one that could end up costing them the studio, costing them the company. It's unlikely that Microsoft's own missteps will blow over and they'll be able to navigate it. Yeah, mainly because Marc-Alexis Cote, Ubisoft's executive producer on Assassin's Creed, has made it clear that the company is doubling down on the DEI agenda with Shadows. As reported to Eurogamer, during a BAFTA event in London, Cote said, "At the end of the day, Assassin's Creed is not just a franchise, it's a platform for entertainment, dialogue, discovery, and understanding." Yes, for entertainment, well, there's been a considerable lack of that in the industry. In the franchise so far. Dialogue, yeah, it's going to be a one-way dialogue. Did you play Shadows? Nope, absolutely not. As for discovery and understanding, yeah, you guys better be discovering new jobs and understanding that Ubisoft was a once great studio that eventually got bought up by Tencent by the end of 2025. Why is it that everybody else can see the problems from these stupid studios from the outside looking in, but the people that are there are just going down with the ship? It's wild to see, and 2025 is going to be even more destructive than 2024, and I know how hard that is to believe, but it's the goddamn truth. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.